Americans of Reddit, what would you do if the United States were invaded? Probably work from home that day. Traffic would be a bitch. So anyway, I started blasting. Continue with my day. It would last about 7 minutes. The largest air force in the world is the United States Air Force. The second largest air force in the world is the United States Navy. What am I doing? Watching the fireworks. Laugh at all the resulting memes. This country is so goddamn full of hate for ourselves, and you want to give a reason to turn that outward? Lol. I know I'm probably a little biased here, but we're essentially defended on both sides by mountains and angry rednecks who have spent multiple generations hoping and praying someone would be dumb enough to attack. People are focusing on our military budget and vast array of defenses, but let's not forget that we're also the most defensible country on the planet, just geographically speaking. Honestly, with the size and strength of the US military, it would be over by 7:30 a.m. I get up at 8. Watch all the tax dollars I have paid for the past 20 years go to work. Surely not worried about invaded. Definitely worried about divided. I would watch Red Dawn and get some tips on what to do from C. Thomas Howell. Oh, you chose to find out. We'd still be going to work, because when it's over, rent is still due at the first of the month and food doesn't buy itself. Not that the USA would need it, but any invasion onto NATO soil would trigger an armed response from the 29 other member states. If you add up all the belligerent parties, in terms of soldiers, equipment, missiles from all those nations and nationwide militia of millions of heavily armed religious fundamentalists, it's an unwinnable proposition. The only way America falls is under its own weight. Get Florida man hopped up on bath salts and let him run rampant through the enemy lines. It'd be like watching a crazed Wendigo tear people limb from limb. They would have to just start with nukes. No other scenario could I concede that we would lose. The amount of civilians with guns, the amount of military spending, the size of the army, and just the amount of people that have guns that would be on their front lawn shooting at the enemy. Lol, I could be wrong, but I don't think the government would mess around with an invasion of any kind. Go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all of this to blow over. If it's advanced interglacial intergalactic aliens? Get blasted, I guess. If it's another country? Watch my taxes go to work. Edit, I'm an idiot. So you have chosen death. On a real note, I'd make sure I'm on time for work. Since, I'm in the military. It's kind of my job. I wouldn't be worried. Not even the US government can control the US. I doubt anyone else could. I would send the invading nation a suicide hotline number. Try to find some awesome abandoned enemy military supplies. As a Canadian, my perspective is it would be foolish for any nation other than the US to invade North America. Canada gets invaded? Hell no, ain't no commies in USA's backyard. US gets invaded? Just stay out of the way and let it blow over by tomorrow. Mexico gets invaded. If the cartels don't show them the meaning of horrific brutality, if not, see Canada gets invaded. If the southern central nations get invaded, well, USA might be a bit more diplomatic but would probably take advantage of the excuse to liberate a few islands. The US has worked very, very hard to establish Fortress Na, and I doubt even the Chinese could take and hold Oregon and the lower mainland BC without experiencing untenable attrition. Good luck with all the rednecks in the mountains whose families have lived there for 100 years or more. Good luck with all the army vets. There are people who own cannons. There are people who own older tanks. You may invade, but you will have to destroy the country to the point where it's not even worth having for your own unless you want to fight a war of attrition on nightmare mode. Sums it up right here. I just hope both sides have fun out there. I'm what every red-blooded American would do, grab my guns. If I had some. And knew how to use them. I have failed as an American. Grab my AR-15, an ice chest full of Colorado waters, the biggest American flag that I can find, and ride a bald eagle into battle. Most of us wouldn't have a chance to do anything. It would be over so fast. They probably wouldn't make landfall. Get my attack bald eagles out from their cages and set them loose. Christopher Titus explained this very well. We invented monster trucks. We go from 0 to over 300 miles per hour in a 1/4 mile. We did this because we were bored. 70% of our population is either medicated, or in need of medication. Now, imagine what we would do if we had a purpose? Would you want to see a truly United States with a singular goal? Don't mess with the nation, in need of medication. Rudy Tooty point and shooty. AB incredibly shocked we were somehow invaded with 2 planetary moats, NORAD, and countless other security measures. B protect my mom and sister. Check Reddit to see what country the US is about to send some freedom to. Actually, I would thank God, cause nothing would bring Americans together more than a foreigner invading us. I mean, dear Lord, I feel sorry for the proverbial country that would try invading us. Not BQs, I have some American God complex. but simply because they would have a gun behind every blade of grass. There are gun nuts out there that literally jerk off at the thought of someone invading us so they can finally pull out all their toys and call up all their buddies to go shoot some whatever ethnic slur the invaders are. The worst threat is within the USA. That is what I'm afraid of more than anything. It's almost strategically impossible. Good luck. The amount of militias and doomsday preppers in this country are getting chubs from this very thought. They are just waiting for something, anything, to pop off. Won't happen because we got all the guns. Last time I checked, we have more guns than the whole population of the US, by a bunch. We have so many guns that we give other countries guns so we can fight each other. I'll give you a serious answer. We Americans fight amongst ourselves all the time, but no matter what divides us, we will pull together against an actual threat in a way that you have never seen before. 20 minutes after resolving the conflict, though, we'll be back to stabbing each other in the back, both figuratively and literally. Own a musket for home defense, since that's what the founding fathers intended. 4 ruffians break into my house. What the devil? As I grab my powdered Wigan Kentucky rifle, blow a golf ball-sized hole through the first man, he's dead on the spot. Draw my pistol on the second man, miss him entirely because it's smoothbore and nails the neighbor's dog. I have to resort to the cannon mounted at the top of the stairs loaded with grape shot. Tally hole adds the grape shot shreds 2 men in the blast. The sound and extra shrapnel set off car alarms. Fix bayonet and charge the last terrified rapscallion. He bleeds out waiting on the police to arrive since triangular bayonet wounds are impossible to stitch up. Just as the founding fathers intended. Feel sorry for the army that died trying to invade us. As an American. Man, I love this comment section. I would never invade America. There is a gun behind every blade of grass. Isoroku Yamamoto. I know that it's questionable whether he even said that, but the point stands. Wake up. Watch clips of anti-ship missiles and torpedoes creating a new artificial reef hundreds of miles off the coast. Go to work. Next week wake up, watch clips of a carrier battle group turning the aggressor nation into a third world country. Go to work. Nothing, with the states of Florida and Texas, they would be lucky to make it out alive. The more you fuck around the more you're gonna find out why we don't have healthcare. Ah yes, invade the country with the most powerful military in the world. Not to mention the 400 million citizens that are armed themselves by aliens or good luck to whatever poor country made that mistake. Invade a country with heavily armed civilians. Watch the whole thing on TV. That would be entertaining. Considering the alleged next most powerful army in the world is absolutely getting their dicks kicked in by a bunch of dudes with AKs and homemade napalm, I'm not too worried about it. Probably make a sandwich. Don't want to go getting into a socio-political domestic conflict on an empty stomach. Shoot back. Open a bag of popcorn to watch the fireworks and create some sort of meme about the event. The US spends more on defense than the next 10 nations on Earth combined. Thus in a threat situation any invaders would live the last few moments of their lives questioning their life choices. First, I'm going to tell my redneck neighbors that NASCAR is off until all the invaders are dead or gone and they hate barbecue. Second, I'm gonna pack my gear and rally with the crew to hole up. I'd be disappointed I didn't get a chance to shoot some of them because it was over before they got to my town. Win. It's next to impossible to successfully invade the US. Especially if the majority of both sides of whatever you call it have a common enemy. America is armed to the teeth for better or for worse. The only thing that can allow a foreign force a chance to invade America is if America tears itself apart again. Even then the odds are low. Nothing. For one, I live in Texas. We have so many guns. Most of us probably wouldn't need to do anything at all. I don't think any country wants to fuck around and find out why we don't have free healthcare lol. Well, maybe some Middle Eastern countries and NK could be crazy enough to try. The military budget is beyond insane. I don't think you understand the pure chaos of PBR-filled rednecks in pickup trucks with machine guns acting out their wet dreams on an invading army. If the US defense budget wasn't enough to make invading the US a very poor deal, have to contest with the people that see school shootings and think, fuck it, just give that little kid a gun and a vest and he's good to go. Wolverines.
I hope you all are doing well, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video. If you have something to say critically or otherwise, leave a comment. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe to see more of it. I hope you all have wonderful and fulfilled lives.